It's a long distance observation I captured with a P1000, showing stuff that's not supposed to be visible according to the predicted sphere Earth model.
And how did you determine what was too far to be seen?
The Metabunk curve calculator.
Okay. And then did you control all conflating variables?
Did Aristotle do it when he claimed to have seen ships disappear bottom up, and it was used as slam dunk proof we live on a spinning space ball for the last 2,000 years?
Well, Aristotle's not here, so this is
your
your
observation. He's foundational to your religion.
I didn't bring him up, so that's...
Look, if you want to throw Aristotle under the bus, that's fine. Let's just get that out here up front right now.
I didn't claim anything from Aristotle, so I won't be...
Aristotle is credited by multiple mainstream historical sources as the guy who provided some of the most foundational proof we live on a sphere, one of which being ships disappearing bottom up. Did he account for all the variables that are taking place when you're making a long distance observation over water? Did he account for all that?
So bottom up is different than what you're seeing here, right? Or did you see bottom up? I don't know what exactly.
No, it's flat in that footage. It's flat. It's not missing. That's the problem. It's not missing. It's supposed to be hidden by 80 feet of Earth curve. There's no curve there.
Yeah. But are you? So I don't know what this looks like for real. Is there supposed to be something there, or are we seeing the shore, or is there something obscured?
You're basically seeing everything. Now, in all fairness, I went out and I went to that observation point multiple times, and sometimes there was obstruction. It's true, and maybe that's why you asked me, did you account for all the variables? Because there are atmospheric anomalies.
That's not the variable I was concerned with. Okay, but did you take into account the actual conditions? Like, do you have the temperature at the
yeah. Well, I go back to my original point. Did Aristotle take that into account when you guys put it in the textbooks for 2,000 years as slam dunk proof we live on a sphere?
I've not written a textbook.
If it was good enough for Aristotle, why isn't it good enough for me?
Well, see,
you have to understand, bro, that when you ask me, did I take into account every variable? What you're saying is Aristotle failed in his observations, even though it's been used. Here's a clip from National Geographic. National Geographic did a hit piece on flat Earth recently, and they said that, and here's a quote. I'm going to go ahead and play it for the viewers. I'm going to play this real quick.
You'll start to lose the stripes.
One way that Aristotle proved 2,000 years ago that the Earth is a sphere
over here.
Well, I'm going to quote you I'm going to quote it for you real quick. This is National Geographic, so we're going to find out if you're gonna what your stance is going to be on this. So National Geographic says, quote, one way that Aristotle proved the Earth is a sphere, and let me keep playing. I'll get the rest of the quote for you.
The boat's test, very simple, appears to this one. As a boat approaches the horizon, Aristotle proved 2,000 years ago. The
Earth is a sphere.
The Earth is a sphere. Was with a boat's test, very similar to.
Was with a boat's test similar to the one that was performed by that investigative group that was out there with National Geographic. A boat test. Things disappearing bottom up in the distance. So this is a foundational proof for the spinning space ball. Okay, it's been used in textbooks. It's been referenced by National Geographic. It's constantly referenced as a slam dunk proof. Aristotle did it 2,000 years ago, as National Geographic just said. Okay. So did Aristotle account for all these refractive conditions that you're now asking me to account for?
I did not bring up Aristotle, so I don't need that
You brought up things disappearing bottom up and whether or not I have accounted for all the variables. So what I want you to do is I want you to disavow every time Aristotle has been cited as a slam dunk proof for the Earth being a sphere, ships disappearing bottom up in a public school textbook by National Geographic, etc., etc., etc. Will you disavow?
I did not bring it up, so it's a straw man.
It's not a straw man, buddy. I just asked you to disavow. It's simple.
I won't disavow something that I didn't bring up. It's not necessary.
Should Aristotle have accounted for all the refractive and atmospheric conditions?
If you want to talk about here's the deal.
He's running, guys. Come on, McToon. Just admit it. If you're going to demand that I have atmospheric conditions accounted for, why didn't Aristotle, when he was put into textbooks for all these thousands of years?
All right, so seeing too far versus
so he's just going to ignore the question, everybody. Watch it.
It's a straw man. I will ignore the straw man.
Incredible. So why does Aristotle get preferential treatment?
Seeing things obscured bottom up
is a glober
from seeing too far.
Sad, man.
Right?
Very sad.
They're related, for sure.
That's very sad.
So independent of the distance that you see something, being obscured bottom up doesn't tell you anything necessarily about the radius of the Earth, but it tells you there's something blocking.
So are you going to make me account for all the refractive variables that you demanded a minute ago?
Absolutely. I'm going to insist that you do that.
What about National Geographic when they cited Aristotle without those considerations as proof?
Now they did not say see too far. They said block bottom up. Right?
They did not say
Is that
block
what they're
bottom
talking
up.
about? Or did they say see the right distance or see too far?
Well, now you're just being nitpicky and weird. We're talking about things disappearing into the distance. Doesn't have to be bottom up.
But we don't see anything other than bottom up. We don't see things side to side disappear or top down disappear, right? We see things disappear bottom up. So, what causes that bottom up obstruction? That's a pretty key thing.
Okay, we can move on. If you're not gonna concede that point, we can move on. That's fine.
That's fine.
You want this about National Geographic citing Aristotle if it didn't account for refractive conditions. That's fine. We'll move on. So I've heard you say.